SunDaze with styles, no weapons.
Wait, I'm not ready.
SunDaze, SunDaze, SunDaze. We're here at SunDaze. I'm Paulie Styles.
Mr. Styles.
This man here is,
It's your boy FiF.
and this
That's
is,
the weapon.
and our special guest. This is,
Jules.
this
It's your
is,
boy Price.
and this is.
Mike.
Yeah,
Mike.
He lives. He exists. This is a very special episode. This is the all about conspiracy theories episode. So, if we don't have anything to, do we have any house? Oh, we do have.
Every week, right?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
some
yeah.
houses.
We
Yeah, we have some real quick things.
We gotta tell
We
him.
gotta do the thing. We gotta do the thing.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go on Spotify. You can also follow there and subscribe. We're also on Apple Podcasts. All three major platforms for the podcast. As well as we do encourage every week everyone to donate $1 per episode so that we can get some studio equipment in there so that we're bringing it to you better than there's no headphones and no microphones.
Yep.
Better audio, all that. Yeah, we're on
Absolutely.
all the socials. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're
Twitter,
on YouTube,
TikTok.
We're on Twitter. We have
Oh,
a
Rumble, right?
We
Rumble,
we have a Rumble and a Twitch.
And OnlyFans.
We just started that. We need to get into. We need to get into a little bit,
Yeah,
a little bit more. But yeah, we're doing. I was thinking at some point maybe we could do like a Patreon or something. You know?
Absolutely.
Eventually, yeah.
Definitely.
Sometime
So
soon.
if you're loving the show, if you're enjoying this, please support the show. Donate
As many as
$1
already.
a week.
Yeah.
$1 a
Many
week
people have-
can help this man
Get a brain.
get a if he only knows.
Buy a studio couch.
So yeah,
My,
yeah.
my brains are good.
So now I think we are actually ready.
And thank you to everyone that has supported too. As well.
Oh yeah,
Everyone that's thrown out money to us
everybody
already.
who has supported.
Yes.
Someone may be in the room with us.
We appreciate you. Yeah, just let me rattle off some names. Mr. John Price, Mr. Dave Shea.
Yeah, yeah.
We got Mr. David John Kendrick. We got Mr. Brian Caddy Wells, Mr. Paul Purpura. We got Mrs. Lexi O'Connor.
Yes.
Your brother too?
Everybody.
Your brother? Yeah.
Yes, we got Mr. Ryan Beck Senior. Senior? Yep.
Yeah.
Am I forgetting anybody? I don't think I am, but we appreciate all the support and all the love.
Yeah.
Absolutely, we definitely
Facts.
do. Absolutely.
And honestly, too, I wasn't expecting the music to be playing over here in the next room. So let's just make sure when we do this, we're talking loud.
Oh yeah. No, it's okay. It'll be a little bit of background
Yeah.
music for us.
The audience loves the
There's
little
other
beat in the
people.
background. They
Yeah.
want
This is,
I want to get my news with a little fucking flair. You know what I mean? A little
Yeah,
flair.
yeah, yeah.
So what do you think about you? Do you want to start out with the first conspiracy
You want
theory
me to go
topic?
first? You want people to shut off the podcast right now?
I think I love you, baby.
Damn. I mean,
I love cookies.
Where do we go?
I love cookies forever.
I was gonna say, I don't think you posted in the group about what you were gonna talk about. So I'm interested.
I don't even know where to go with this because
You gotta have one main.
no, I do have
big
a bunch though.
I know.
It's like,
Yeah. Like I said, we'll just roll down the line.
You want to go to B? I mean, we can start with 9/11. That's a huge conspiracy right there. That might be the one that started everything off. Being 9/11, I was 19 years old. My life prior to 9/11 was outside with friends, riding bikes. Life was different. The minute 9/11 happened, life changed from that point forward. You know, being almost 20 plus years removed from that, I can look back now and go, holy shit. Look at where we were and look at where we've come. And I don't think it's positive. And you go back to that day and you start to think about the factors and how many anomalies in those factors there were. You know, columns.
All the power gave to
How do you take down a building? No, I'm in construction. They constructed that building like it was 2 buildings in one. They constructed the inner core, which was the elevator shaft,
Joint.
completely separate.
But they joint parking garages too, I think, underneath.
There were multiple, there were sub basements.
Yeah,
There were sub basements in there. So they erected the 4 major columns, and they erected that as a building itself, and then built a separate building.
You like saying it, right? Didn't
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard the giggling. Fuck me up.
God damn it. Okay, so Continue, say.
So they built the secondary building attached to the first building. So they are two separate buildings acting as one. The architect, there's an Italian architect who built it. He's also on footage. You can find it online. It's probably fucking buried now, but you can find it if you look hard enough. That building, both those buildings, were meant to withstand multiple 747 hits, multiple, not just one, with full fuel tanks. Which we can get into. You really want to deep dive into this? We can talk about what steel really bends at what degree, and what the maximum temperature you can burn jet fuel at is about half.
No, I know all this.
Like a lot of this
other
doesn't make
stuff.
fucking
Like I
sense
read,
at
yeah, a
all.
lot
What
of it.
about the
And
insurance claim that
Such a
happened?
power
Yeah.
grab happened after it.
That's the crazy.
A power grab that
2 weeks
changed
ago.
this whole country. I would say. happened
Life
after that.
prior to that was not. We were different.
Why would that? Because wasn't there the other building that fell that wasn't even charged? It was like building 7 that had all the tax documents and stuff like that for a lot of
For that
people.
$2.3 trillion the day before
So
that
all
they
that
said
credit that
missing.
people owed and all this stuff
Just
just
at Pentagon.
vanished.
It gets wiped out.
How convenient, huh? For
Yeah.
once
The
my
day
Pentagon
before,
Like that.
Rumsfeld came on
Came on
TV
stage
and
and said billions of
said,
dollars.
"We have lost
2.3
$2.3 trillion, and we
We
do
can't
not
find
know where
We
it
don't know where it
went."
went.
And then the next day, a plane hit that part of the Pentagon that has all those
And Building
files.
7, they both housed.
Yeah.
Building 7
You
housed
didn't
the
even, like,
servers.
nothing even hit the other building.
Like you had like
It was an
what
internal
is-
fire. And it's funny too because it goes back to construction. Steel buildings, steel structure buildings is the only time in the history of steel erected buildings. Erected buildings.
It's the only reason you gotta
The only
construct.
time that the buildings have ever dropped. There's been post and pre, like bigger fires burnt longer. Those buildings are still standing.
You see in the video the little bombs. They say the bombs
As
went
the
off for
floors were
what?
going off, you can see them popping off them. It's just amazing too when you saw the bottom of, and they were cut at a 45-degree angle. That's the best way to implode upon itself. These people were smart when they planned it, because not only how do you take down buildings of that magnitude and not fuck up the surroundings as minimal as you can to keep insurance claims down, because there's always people roaming the same circle.
So are you saying they constructed the building in order to destroy it in such a way?
It's amazing, almost like they knew they were going to do this ahead of time. Like,
Okay, I like that.
and to what? No, and what they were saying.
No, I get it. Yeah,
What they were
that's
saying
what the
is-
show's about. No, I get it.
They were saying there was a $2 billion renovation for asbestos in both those buildings. I can tell you right now from construction, that's not worth the money at all. You would not do it, but you had to do it because it's a mandatory update.
Even the Empire State Building got hit by a plane. I mean, granted, it wasn't the same style plane. It
Yeah.
didn't have the same thing, but I mean, that took it. They are built for that.
Multiple of
You know
them
what
too.
I mean?
Especially that was the 90s.
I feel like
80s
the
build.
thing that blows my mind the most about the whole deal is the whole $2.3 trillion that went missing, and then
Conveniently.
all of the proof of that was destroyed the following day. I mean, that's something that you can't deny.
That's a hell of a false
That's
flag.
fucked up.
That
That's a
is.
false flag.
Yeah.
Even all the rest of the stuff, just that thing right there, does that make you think?
Yeah,
you start.
it's almost like enough to
What
fund
is-
a war with Afghanistan.
What do you think, Mr.
Almost
Mark?
outside taking away rights away.
Yes, you gotta tell me.
I mean, so I
No, no,
honestly,
the
like,
surveillance
I
thing?
remember when I was younger watching like Fahrenheit 9/11 and stuff, and I definitely
Oh, yeah.
found it compelling.
Yeah.
Now being older, like I would have to dig back into it, right? Because like, there's definitely any big thing is gonna be power struggle, right? Right? Like, there's always gonna be weird things you can connect. Doesn't mean it could go either way. I don't know. I would have to I'm not gonna
Right.
sit here and doubt you because I don't know,
Yeah.
right? Like I just don't.
You're all no, and I
Yeah,
said
yeah.
you're all about the facts and stuff. No, I respect that 100%.
No.
And you know what's funny? Everybody remembers exactly where they were, and you'll actually get a kick out of this. I was at the track. We both worked at the track at the time.
I wasn't there though.
And it was in the. I know you weren't there, but I was there. It was in the morning, and I was going around to all the bars and stocking up all the beer and everything. And there were TVs that were hanging at all the bars, and I would turn on the TV so I could watch the news and stuff. And it came on the news, and I was just like, my jaw dropped.
You're
I
like,
was
what
just
is going on?
like everybody there, like we couldn't even we stayed at work for the day, but we just were in shock. You know
It was
what I mean?
unprecedented. Think about that. To that point, was there anything of its kind ever?
My big thing is, I get all the other stuff, but
No,
my
not
big
like
thing,
consoles.
No,
but
no.
my big thing will always be the whole $2.3 trillion because that's just like, what do you think about just that
And
fact?
the
Like, what
surveillance state
was
was
it?
thinking
Cash?
about
Was
that.
it a trail? Like what? I don't know what was missing.
It was
That was also government
it
spending
was
money
the
in the states.
Pentagon's
So then they
money
supposedly back
for
up.
military
Because
spending,
all of a sudden
correct?
they started getting the
I believe.
I do remember, yeah. Like, at that time,
The
though,
money
they
wasn't
weren't
missing.
very
A trail of like where.
No,
Yeah, 'cause
they-
it
no,
was
he
always
came out-
built and that was in
He
building
came out
7.
on TV.
Yeah, yeah,
national
yeah.
TV.
Yeah, but they didn't, like,
Supposedly in
put-
25 level. So all of a sudden the building that housed all those.
Yeah.
Going.
This isn't time for private conversation.
Sorry. Let me ruffle
It's
the
a
plastic
goddamn
bag.
deal. It's a goddamn
No,
deal.
just my bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
Did I just nail it?
Whatever you
Are we
say,
getting fish bang?
you can tell the whole class whatever you're saying. That's the
You have
price.
enough of the class.
He was asking about the paper trail, like then it just disappeared. It was like the building that held the said paper trail disappeared, and then all of it. So
Poof.
now the paper trail for that
Two
trail-
buildings. That section of the Pentagon and then the
so
other.
poof, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh
gone.
now, oh well, we can't tell you where it went because we don't know. All
So-
the shit's
But
disappeared.
they said
why
the
would
day
it-
before.
why would it be
Rumsfeld
there?
came out the day before, like 9.
And you can Google that.
And you can look at it. At 9:10, he comes out and says, "We don't know where 2.3 trillion." He came out and said this nationally.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So,
then when
and
he
then the
said,
next
"Go
day that
look,"
happens.
Like,
Go
you can't
look,
do it
and
on
oh,
it.
I can't now because where we had all
Like,
this
there's
stuff
no
just
paper
shut
trail
down.
following.
You know,
There's no trail.
you know what to do. Though after this,
Like a
we'll,
bait and
we'll
switch.
post up the picture, like the video on YouTube of him saying.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Well,
that's the
whoever
thing
cuts
that's
the video is
crazy.
gonna fucking start doing it.
Yeah.
Wait, yes, yeah. Like we are living in a world where you can go, like technology-wise, you can go and you can get the facts that you need. Like, yes, you have to be smart and realize, and just
And you
as
can get the facts
just-
you need.
right,
Like that's
just because
that's
it's
what
on the
it is.
internet, you're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Just because it's on the
True, I
internet
agree with
doesn't
that.
mean that it's true. I get that. I really do. But but the thing is, people, I don't know why they don't care. Like, there's so many things. Like, for example, perfect example, quick before I get into my. Joe Biden literally is on camera saying,
No, it's
"We will make sure that Nord Stream 2 ceases to exist."
No.
That's a fucking fact.
And then it happens.
We can see, and then it happens, and then we don't know. Russia must have blown up their own goddamn.
No. Ukraine did.
Just-
No, they're saying.
yeah,
They're saying
rogue,
yes,
rogue
factory
Ukrainians,
Ukrainians
yeah.
did it.
No, play the как делать,
With
'cause I don't
2
believe
feet
that.
of concrete, it's encased in 2
You can
feet.
also
You
watch a
take some
video of
fucking
Joe Biden
concrete.
saying
The plane.
that he doesn't want schools to be integrated because it would be a racial jungle. But apparently now he's changed. But anyways,
Whatever,
that's
yeah.
not what this show is about. God damn
Everybody
it,
can
Yo, you're talking
Styles.
about that.
God damn it, Styles.
Everybody can
Check
change.
yourself. But anyways,
Especially this guy's underwear.
I'm gonna get into my conspiracy theory now. My conspiracy theory is
Yeah.
Epstein. Just Epstein in
Whoa.
general. All of it.
He didn't kill himself.
All of it.
He's
Well-
still alive. I think he's still
well,
alive
that-
somewhere.
No,
Yeah.
seriously, a lot of
Invite him to the New Island, guy.
He's in Cuba
Well,
with Tupac.
that partially goes into the one that I'm gonna. But
Yeah.
that's okay.
So the thing that I find crazy, insane, crazy.
Why?
is
What's so
that-
crazy about it?
Is that this man was supposedly supposed to be in like
Protective
a
custody.
maximum security
Yeah.
prison. Yes, protective custody on suicide watch. All of it. There was cameras.
MCC
So how did he
He's the
kill
president.
himself?
in Manhattan.
And
El Chapo.
and mysteriously, there's no footage of him killing himself either. Yes, and then they put his girlfriend slash his I don't know what she
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
whatever she is. She's the only person who's in jail. Like, what about all the other people that were involved with these people that were
Well, the Clintons aren't
basically raping children?
I mean, the problem is you have to prove it, right? So, like, say, you know, all this stuff is happening. There's flights and stuff.
Yeah.
Who's to say everybody on that flight, right? They could be hiding in plain sight. It could be like we're going to this island.
That's why they did
and
it.
there's a
That's
couple-
why
yeah.
they put normal
Right.
people in with the fucking pedophiles because for the exact reason.
Exactly.
Now
It
you
was-
can't look at it
everybody
and
is plausible.
decipher it because
Yeah.
you have people that don't have nothing to do with it with people that do it.
Yeah.
I think they did it to blackmail the celebrities. They bring the celebrity over and then they, have them get drunk and whatever, drug them, and then they have them sleep with these underage people.
That's
and
the
then,
thing.
Okay, you're blackmailed now. Now you get to do whatever I tell you to do because now I'm going to go out to the world and tell them that you're a pedophile.
And you're right. I think it's a little bit just with a lot of topics. I think it's a little bit of all of that. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not so easy. It's not so cut and dry. It's just like, oh, they were on the flight log, so they're automatically.
No.
And that goes to everything.
There,
you know what I mean?
there was people on there that I guess
This
caught
direction.
rides and shit and went to, got
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like got dropped off.
And he
at
was
certain
part of the
places.
elite network, but the thing is, so many people. There was, like, since he came onto the scene, and like he wasn't a rich person. Like, he got all this money. Like,
Bullshit.
convinced people to give him money. Like he was a grifter. He was a con man.
Who's the?
He came
the
out of
Victoria's
nowhere,
Secret guy?
but then he was part of these elites. They
Yeah.
look out for each other. It's a whole, you know what I mean? Like,
Well,
you know
if
when
they're
Ricky
blackmailing each other,
Gervais,
they kind of have to.
right? But did you see Ricky Gervais? What was it? Was it the Grammys?
Like 2 years ago.
When he just roasted all
Everybody,
of
yeah.
these
Yeah.
people, and the room was silent because, dude,
It was hilarious.
They were looking at each other. They were like, oh my
Absolutely.
god, can we just say
Genius.
this right now?
Genius.
you can't tell me that you don't think that there's plenty of these people who are bad people.
Oh, of course.
Facts.
Tons of bad
Right,
people,
but
yeah.
you can't toss in the people. You can't just lump everyone to.
It's not that,
Reptile
bro. It's that the good people are not in positions of power, and the majority of the power positions are held by the type of people you're talking about. So it's on you're giving evil people the fucking power over you.
Yeah.
The people that hold the positions of power are these elite people that we're talking about. It's not us, the people that
Did
actually
you
care
hear
about
this,
us, that take these positions that change things.
A flight log.
us.
Epstein and Bill Clinton took a trip together to Thailand.
Wait. Yeah. I just seen you post about that shit.
You guys. I bet you.
Yesterday,
I bet you those two freaks were looking for some lady boys, but that's a different story.
Don't call it name drop for a reason.
Not bang.
Like, do you think that Big Willie is a scumbag?
Yeah, I mean, sexually, yeah.
Yeah. He's a sexual deviant, but he's a goddamn good saxophone player.
Yes, yeah.
Saxophone.
I think the problem is like people become
I would like him
power
too.
corrupts. Right?
Look at who his
The
wife
reason it
is. I don't blame him.
The reason
Oh.
it corrupts too is like because you can't get into the game without, like people get into it for the right
Like
reason.
signing your
It is
soul
the
away.
right reason. Like you get into politics, but like you have to make deals in order to like get up to the higher echelons. Like you just have to, and then you owe people.
You make a deal with the
and then-
devil, pretty much.
Yeah.
I would say.
That's what it
Like,
seems
But
like.
each level, you have to like sell yourself to the next level, so they got it over you in order to get to that level.
so
Yeah.
real
like if
quick,
you're not
Ellie-
gonna play ball, you're not gonna.
Yeah. And they got it over you too, so
And
it
then
makes
you
you
catch
can't
the
leave.
suicide.
You can't leave.
Billion
And if you
years
leave, that sex tape with you and the 3 guys. There you go.
Yeah.
Do you think
I heard
that the
about that.
island had anything to do with the Red Shoe group, or I forget what kind of club it is, where they like drink children's blood type of thing?
Oh, the Adrenochrome? I think they're all tied together, man.
man.
You think
That-
I think that's all part of
That's
it.
why
I don't know.
You seen when they talk to the landscapers?
Yeah, you want.
Dude, they talked to the landscapers. They were like, "Have you ever seen an
I mean, it's a
underage
conspiracy
girl?"
theory.
It is a
I
conspiracy,
did. I listened to a podcast on that.
And adrenochrome is, in fact, a real.
Are you hit the
thing,
Adrenochrome?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, you don't? I'm the only one on glasses.
Like they-
No, no,
Thank
no, no,
God,
no,
I got
no,
no
no,
glasses on this side.
I said it to him earlier. I go, free.
Be honest. Yeah.
Feeling
So,
gross.
no, do you know what Adrenochrome is?
Well, yeah, like the young. I know the
HGH
essence
and-
of the child.
basically,
Yeah.
blood stem cells from like
Brain
aborted
stem.
fetuses.
No, but you have to put a child in fear, and then you excrete a certain type of hormone in your
Yeah,
blood
yeah,
from going
yeah.
into fear.
Well, that's
You
what
drink
trying to
that's
put
what
a child in fear
that's
right
what
now.
plants do too. Like
I think
it's fucked up.
honestly, I think a lot of that stuff is like people putting that out there to make their enemies look bad.
Yeah, like,
there's stuff going
the
back
Q stuff
hundreds of years.
is
Like
too
people talking
wild.
about the
Yeah,
Jewish
yeah.
community as like drinking children's blood, not because it's true, but because
But
They
the-
probably
the same
do-
myth is like a vampire. Though.
they probably
Vampires
do-
use blood and they're immortal. You can't
Did you
say
ever
anything
hear
about
about
Yeah.
the traditional way
Poly
of
fetuses
giving
and-
circumcisions in the Jewish community? I don't really. I probably should
Yeah,
say that.
You
probably.
kick Polly
I
right
probably
in
should
the
get on to that.
Give me a gavel.
I'm
Give me a gavel.
I'm
real quick.
absolutely muting the audio. Right there. When he said that right there, that means when the audio drops.
I love Jewish people. All my Jewish people.
Where's
Please
the
don't
guy?
Kanye the podcast.
I don't know. I was gonna stress
Not,
it.
Yeah.
I'm putting up the thing on
Uh,
not YouTube friendly during this segment.
Yeah.
No, but to like to basically bring it back to what you were saying with Epstein and why are we still not talking about it? Is it just because of the news cycles, all that? So that was one of the things I was going to bring up is that I had a friend who passed away last year. He was locked up in the same prison in Manhattan. It's a federal building, MMC, and he basically, his mother had messaged me and said, hey, they moved everybody from the whole unit, like from the whole entire building. This is where El Chapo was at. That's where Epstein died, or allegedly suicided himself. But she had sent a message and said that one of the guards had brought a loaded gun and gave it to an inmate. And I was like, hold on, what? So we're saying Epstein just magically hung himself in the building, and that's it. It's over with. Let's not talk about it again. Even though there was and I should have looked this up. I did not. You could do your own research. There was who was the there was a guy who came in and
Bet
actually
you found what you wanted, didn't you?
one of the coroners or whoever it was, an expert they brought in, like he had said, he goes, "This is not a hanging. This is a strangulation. The hyoid bone was broken."
Stephen Crowder tried to reduplicate it. He couldn't.
Yeah.
He actually like built an exact mock-up of the jail and tried to do exactly what they said he did.
Yeah.
And had
He did it
a
with
doctor
t-shirts.
sitting next to him
T-shirts.
live, and they couldn't allow him to do it. Like, you can't generate the force to break.
And that's all I'm bringing up. That's all I'm bringing up is the fact that my good friend who passed away, God bless his soul.
Anything will get into jail.
She had told me that the guard had brought a loaded gun in and gave it to an inmate. How fucking insane is that?
I
It's
believe that.
crazy, but
that's
it is
yeah.
like circumstantial.
Yeah,
right? They don't.
Yeah.
They're not. They're just the same jail.
It was
So,
not.
like,
I never heard it in the news either. That's another.
that's something that should be in the news.
Yeah.
You would
Absolutely.
think that would be in the news.
They probably
right?
kept
They
it down
probably
because
did.
of the.
It's
Epstein
interesting.
thing.
It's definitely
El Chapo was
interesting.
there.
But we know, like, dude, the stuff that gets into prisons is insane.
Oh,
I mean, you can just bring in what you
Dude,
need in your jail
$50,000
purse
a
if
year.
you want.
There's more drugs in the.
These guys make fucking 40, 50 grand a year. Someone comes in and says, "I'm gonna give you 100K. Let this gun go through."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because,
Oh yeah.
dude,
You're gonna get paid.
dude,
Of course, like,
COs are paid. Dude, my father was to be a CO at one point, and he was like, as long as the prison is
Allegedly, one smuggle.
treats you with respect. I don't know. He could. Yeah, he is.
Allegedly.
He taught me everything. I would say he probably was up to some hustling in there.
Allegedly.
But he said, like, as long as you respected them as people, they would respect you. Like the guards who were dicks and stuff, like they would try to screw with them. You know what I mean?
Don't shit piss at him.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe do you have more on that? Or?
That's the only thing I want to bring up too, because you brought up Epstein. That was just some. Yeah. I honestly wish I think I'm gonna post it, but just like cross out her name and just post it on the page, just so you see what I'm talking about and what the date was and what it was. Because it's like, dude, like.
There's
Why was it
cameras in that?
It's the maximum
cell.
security in prison.
That weren't on.
He was on suicide watch.
Yes.
That weren't
Do you
on.
see all the
How
freaking
convenient.
TikToks and shit that
So-
people are making from in jail? Where like
That's
they
kinda
set
the
up a
big thing.
kitchen in their room and shit,
On
and
the
they're
stairs?
cooking food and
They sit on the
shit.
fucking stairs.
Like you get to drown
It's
free
like
cell.
grates,
You
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
All you gotta do is make a stinger, dude. You make a stinger, you can boil anything. you
Oh,
want.
dude, yeah.
No, but his point
pretty
of what
easy.
you were saying though is the COs are allowing that. What makes you think they're not going to allow guns and shit to come in if they're allowing you to make a fucking barbecue on the bottom step? Like,
Dude,
where's that line
there's
stop?
plugs in there, and all you gotta do is take your wires out
Is
of
it
your
bussin'?
headphones, and then just make a stinger. You put them into the thing. It's not very safe. I've seen it. One of my friends saw it, I mean, and in a prison. Not me.
Allegedly.
But yeah.
Don't drop the
So
soap.
say like a pedophile though is killed in a prison, right?
Honestly,
it look like
so-
a suicide,
Yeah.
right? Like, who really wants to look deeper into it, right? If he is,
I just want the.
right?
No,
Like
man,
you
that's-
want the truth, and I'm
Yeah.
sure there wasn't an investigation, but if there's no camera and no paperwork and no one's talking, then like what else?
No,
is
you're
there?
right. You're right.
But there was a camera though, but it just conveniently
Turned up. That's what I'm saying, right? If it's off,
Yeah.
like what are you gonna do? That doesn't.
So what happens when you have that circumstance? I don't
Why
understand.
is it
that-
You're saying that when there's no circumstantial evidence around. What happens when you have all these outside circumstances really pointing at something going a different direction?
So
like
you can
this
say it
case.
looks like he was murdered,
Do we all not think that the Clintons
but
had him
until,
killed?
unless you can get more evidence
I'm
of
just saying,
it,
why do
it's
the
not
cameras-
right.
perspective, yes.
Why
Yeah.
the cameras
100%.
always don't work for everything? Like at the Pelosi's house, none of the cameras.
just
work.
happened.
Bigfoot.
Just cameras just
Yeah.
never work. You know what I mean, they just never work. In this day and age where we can just do anything, we have a computer in our fucking pocket, but we
Legit.
just don't have any.
Dude, you have the world's information that you in your pocket. Like,
Because
You got glass
this
protection
search that,
reports.
dude, they tried to.
It's crazy.
They tried to go to court and stop you from seeing footage. Like it's fucking
Oh,
wild.
nano dust. There's something about
But
nano dust.
that's-
I'm
Ooh.
chomping at the bit to get
Yeah.
into.
Hold on. Can we switch topics?
Hey.
We just went down a rabbit hole.
Yeah. Let's switch.
Told you.
So nano dust or CERN? CERN.
Bolt.
You can do both.
Both.
You know what? Let's get into all of it.
So,
Oh, we're gonna go
CERN-
back down the line. Do another one after.
The biggest thing about CERN is that's why they were what they started or were established in 1954, and ever since then they've been doing all these experiments on splitting particles. Is that what it is? They're smashing
Atoms.
atoms and stuff together.
That's how the
But that's how the,
You know
he
what
got
else,
switched or
I don't know.
parallel into a different universe when they fucked something up in 2019, and that's why we're experiencing so much of the Mandela effect of so many things that we know are true, but they're not now. Like E.T. Phone Home.
Like the
it's not E.T.
bandstand
Phone
band.
Home
I know,
anymore.
what-
It's E.T. Phone Home.
E.T.
Michael
Dude.
Jackson, he doesn't say
Shazam's fucking real.
hit me, struck me like smooth criminal. He says, he repeats the first.
The Bernstein Bears, that's another one.
Bernstein
Yeah.
Bears.
There's a slew of them. You want mine? There's a fucking iceberg full of those
There's
things.
so
And when you
many.
look at him, it's really like it fucks with your head because you're like, wait a minute, dude.
Yeah.
I
I don't
remember
remember
this.
that.
I remember this.
I don't remember that.
Like the
that.
Shazam thing, dude.
Like, I don't give a
Since
fuck. I seen that
2000
movie.
Since 2019, there's been so much more anger in the world and so much more. Just it does seem like different parallel.
They powered up
universes.
CERN even more. When you're talking about when they first came online, I think it was like
They
2011 or
discovered 3
8.
new particles.
God
when they
particles,
started
yeah,
up,
and
yeah.
the what's it, the Hooks
I could tell you what they
boson.
Yeah,
Things
the
have went
Higgs
so
Higgs boson,
insane. I would say like since like 2016 was really like when things started getting like really.
Well, the Me Too
polarized.
thing, I
Now
think,
when
really
Trump
set-
started to run.
The Me Too thing though really started to set things off. Like that's I
Which
don't know.
hashtag Me Too is pound Me Too, which is fucking how I remember it now.
Oh my god!
Well,
Stop.
me
I
too.
never
Just
thought of that.
Hey, listen. Harass is 2 words. Harass is 2 words. Harass.
Harumba!
No.
Naughty.
No means no, but sometimes maybe. No.
Yeah, I didn't even think. Wow, actually.
I think a lot of that hatred and stuff comes from just like we as a people weren't meant to scale to the like size that we have. We
Yeah.
communicate with so many people, right? And so like the quickest way for people to win arguments is to like get mad at each other or to fight, and it is divisive.
Yeah.
Right? They've done experiments, I think, with chimpanzees, right? And at a certain size, like I forget if it was 100 or whatever, their community breaks up. It doesn't work. It starts to go into mayhem. And I feel like that's kind of like what we are hitting with democracy, with just the world in general, right? We can't communicate with 1 million people. So we're trying to make decisions and do things informed, and we can't because there's too much information, right? Too many voices.
Too many
Yeah,
opinions.
yeah.
And so what comes out the top? The loudest and the angriest.
Because
No,
maybe originally everybody wasn't.
No, do you think this is what you said about people being angry, right?
To talk.
Is it agreed that we all, as humans, like have vibrations? There's like a vibrational scale, like that's how we operate.
I believe
I
so.
read it.
Do you think that they haven't figured out how to manipulate us that way? Like they put out cell phone towers. Who's to say that's just a cell phone tower?
5G.
That's not putting out. Yeah, 5G to an extent, but they know how to. I mean, if you took like salt and you put it on a subwoofer and you started hitting certain frequencies, you're gonna see shapes pop up
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the subwoofers.
Yeah.
Some of these shapes are
Yeah.
positive and some of them are negatively charged. So think about this: if you took the negatively charged waves and shot waves across us all the time, and that was bombarded on us 24 hours a day, think over time
Would
it
you
would
shot
erode how you feel.
That's why the
What
music
you shot
industry
me?
uses 808s and stuff
That's
like that.
because-
That
But like
fucking
all
noise
the
is actually
propaganda,
fun.
and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
and it's all the propaganda too. Like everything's
And
so
I have no proof of that.
polarized.
That's completely
They
opinion.
want allegedly. They want
I mean,
us,
fuck
but I
allegedly,
think they want us divided. Like this is the most divided this
You
country's
think.
ever been. And I gotta say, and I don't think anybody, and I don't think anybody can argue with me. This current president has not tried to unify us at all. He's
No.
only divided us more.
Yeah, he just gives you ultimatums like yes, this or fuck
You agree?
Look at Mike.
I know,
He's
no,
I mean,
I-
like,
I-
honestly, like,
like,
have
mind
you, like,
blown.
sat and, like, watched, like, the full press conference? Not, like, the news clips, just, like, the full conferences, right? Have you sat...
I've
In the
sat a
beginning,
couple. I've sat through a couple.
right?
Yeah.
I don't think Joe Biden's, like, I don't have a super high opinion of the man, right? But, like, I don't feel like he's trying to divide. Like,
Isn't
he's not maybe doing the best job of bringing
He's not
people
doing
together,
it.
but he,
I don't think
there's
he-
a lot like riding up against it. It's not easy, and I don't think
Yeah.
it falls on him. It's the people underneath too.
I
It's
do
just-
agree a lot with that.
Right? Like
No, I do
people
agree a
look
lot.
at the president and think like, oh, he's
But
controlling
he puts
this
those people
and
there,
this,
though.
right? It's
He's
not.
really
You
just a
have all-
placeholder,
Yeah, you got
like-
all these people underneath that are like doing the hard work and coming up to him
He's
and
the
saying, "I have
face.
this information." Yeah, and
Yeah.
maybe he's making decisions, but he's not doing like the research and digging into stuff. You know, and that-
Clearly, because he
You're
said some
supposed to,
pretty.
though.
He said some pretty
Yeah.
ridiculous
How
stuff.
could he? Like with
Do you
the
guys-
amount of hours in the day.
Do you guys?
Right?
I'm
And
not
all
saying
these
the job's
things.
easy, but if you're gonna run for the fucking job, do the fucking
should
job
probably-
correctly.
But the best thing you
You know
can
what I
do
mean?
is have
He's running
people
again,
you trust,
too. He's running
right?
again.
And you have to trust when they come to you with information that information is real and trust their decisions. And if you can't do that, like if you tried
Then
to
you shouldn't be the
micromanage,
president.
but if you tried to micromanage as a president, you wouldn't be able to do it. There's just not enough hours in the day.
I'm looking at the smoking gun. I'm just
get
scared.
that?
That's like overly
What you just said is
It's
the
not
wrong.
an excuse,
That's the
but
problem.
You said then don't run then, right?
Then don't fucking run.
But what happens though, like from what you guys are saying,
Take
so
the
the
problem.
the president's separate from the body. We'll say what you're saying is the body, the president's the head. What happens when the body can't respect the head anymore? You say don't run, then we don't have a government that operates at all.
Well,
Then
no,
what
somebody
we do
else
is
would have
fine.
run. He didn't
You
need
need
to.
No, but
someone
that doesn't
to,
matter who you
like-
put in there. Though,
Yeah,
because that's gonna happen.
yeah.
The body isn't. We don't elect the body. The body is what we're talking as the people that are really who runs it. The president's who we elect every couple of years. So that being the in and out doesn't matter because that's you're gonna do whatever the body says when the new head comes in every time. So unless you break this, how does this ever change?
The ones
I
who
think
the
Joe Biden just like
the ones
so
that
the
are
We
first
have to have a good day.
changing. We can't have people that are 70, 80 years old in Congress
Yes.
and things
Yeah,
like
I
that.
agree.
Isn't
Yeah.
the average
Absolutely
isn't
agree with
the
that.
average age of the
Yeah.
United States 39 years old?
I brought that up.
Yeah, we have like 8-year-olds.
Yeah,
We have
yeah,
8-year-olds
yeah,
like
yeah.
She
running the
struggles with the
country.
stairs, let alone fucking.
Well, that
I
I
fall
mean,
up the stairs.
And
all
that's
the
not
time,
even
so I
this.
can't
It's just,
Can we
dude,
all
And
agree?
bicycles.
Can we all agree though that there is there's obviously a mental decline? Like
Yeah,
that's
I don't
going
know
on.
what that
all you have to do is
After
look at a
the
video
age
of him
of,
from
like-
like 8 years ago, and you can see how much of a difference there is.
Yeah.
And it's not making fun of him. That's a natural
Right.
thing.
His brain is
Like-
not fine. He's already had brain
So that's
surgery.
what you were saying. We
Shouldn't
need
have
younger.
been
We
in
need
there.
presidents
Shouldn't
younger.
be in there.
There should be
You're
a,
not
there should be
mentally
a minimum limit, or maybe it should be
That's-
a minimum
I've-
limit, but there should be a maximum limit.
How many
though.
times have I brought this up on here? I said that. I said
Mhm.
there should be, keep.
We don't bring up
have-
things multiple times, remember?
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
keep my Democrats
Real
in this.
regurgitate
Okay?
the
Oh, sorry, Democrat Dan.
She ruins everybody's fucking day.
Went from nanoparticles to politics, real fucking.
So, we didn't get nanoparticles. That was insane.
So, anyways,
Yes,
Nanoparticles.
nanoparticles.
That's the best part. Go
Judge
ahead.
did
No,
it.
you want
See?
to
Oh, I was just
This is
No,
why
let him
I
go, let him
want
go.
you. I need
Let him
you.
go.
All right, go.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. So like
I
you were
would see.
you were saying like they want us angry and stuff, right? So if you go back even hundreds of years, 50 years, there's always in like times of turmoil, there's people that rise up because they like feed on people's anger or they just like feed
Yeah.
into it, right? Because it's easy to get people angry. I don't know if there's like a they wanting it. It's just like certain people are taking advantage of it and like it's people
They're
coming
the
on for the
label.
ride. Right?
Yeah.
And it is cyclical. It happens. It's happened in the past a bunch of times. The thing that's different now is the technology.
People
and
are
the speed
easily
at which it
hurtable.
happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
And
yes.
that's why they're segmenting
People
us.
are
And
easily,
this is why
yeah.
they put these boundaries
Yeah.
in front of us to make it easier. You can get 10 people to do something you want over 100 easy.
Oh yeah.
You
Real
get this
quick,
number small pockets.
Yeah, real quick. No, I'm gonna say real quick before we go back into what this show is supposed to be about.
What do you mean?
It's
This
just
is
like
backwards.
I know. I was just like all this stuff. Well, this actually is a conspiracy theory too because my mind is blown all the time when I turn on the TV and look at the news and I see either the president or the vice president or the press secretary saying things like the border is secure, the economy is doing good, inflation is going. It's just you can just say whatever the fuck
I
you
don't
want
think I've
now.
heard someone say it's good.
No,
but
hold
I
on.
agree.
Yeah.
Like
Hold
when
on, I have a
you're
question
getting
for you.
elected.
From what he said, from a realtor's point of view, doesn't he have to do that?
Yeah.
Doesn't he have to? Because if he came out and said wouldn't everything collapse behind it?
Of course. Why do you
He has
think they
to
told
come
you
out.
COVID was going to last 2 weeks? Why do you think they said it was going to last 2 weeks? Because they had no idea what the hell they were doing.
Yeah,
Next
they
thing you
might.
know, it's a
Trump's-
month.
yeah,
Then it's
Trump's-
3 months.
Yeah.
Then it's a year. That's how they have to show things to you. Because if they show it to you all at once, everyone's going to panic. Because, what's that line from that movie? Is that people are smart. People are wonderful. They're smart, intelligent creatures. But, like, in a group, a bunch of them, they're dumb.
Yeah,
Dumb.
right. Everybody will
Yeah.
will group together.
That's not
so
the
to
quote
be-
from the movie. Not at all.
Yeah,
But it's
no,
a good
that's
quote.
Like
Yeah.
mob mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Count
Fool me
get the
once.
stakes.
Can't fool me again.
You can't reason like with the mob.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do.
yeah.
I do.
And
I do
usually
sort
one
of get
controls the
that.
mob. Usually there's one or two that control many.
And when you're trying to get elected, like you're not like some people are saying the things they want to change. Like that honestly, I know you guys
But look
don't
for
like
policy.
Bernie. Like I think if you listen to Bernie,
I actually
like he
did
says
not.
good things.
I did not mind
But-
a lot of Bernie's.
Yeah.
You don't
I
get
did, so-
elected by saying like the things you're gonna do or the things you want to change.
You
Or you
actually
get
have to
elected
do
by
it.
like saying the things that people want to hear.
Right, because
Not
they
the
won't
things
allow
you care
Bernie.
about.
Like they stop Bernie. Like
Yeah,
they can
'cause he
stop
speaks,
whoever
he
they want.
Speaks his mind.
He's always
Yeah.
said the same thing, which though is still I gotta give Bernie a little bit of shit. And I do actually like Bernie. I don't like some of his views on socialism, but I still think it's funny that he's always talking about millionaires and blah, 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 and this guy's a multimillionaire too, and he's out there pushing his book.
He's chilling in Vermont.
But he's gonna pay
But
his
his
share.
opinion,
Vermont.
but you're right. His
That's
opinion has not
right?
changed.
Yeah.
All these years, he That's one thing I give him fucking props for.
Now he's in an
never
Audi R8.
changed.
I was
Chilling.
just saying.
Look, and there's people in like our income brackets saying like, oh, rich people need to pay more taxes. It's like, oh yeah, blah blah blah. But if there's people in their tax bracket saying, hey,
I don't buy
we
that.
need
I
to
don't
pay
get
more
that.
taxes, like
I don't believe that because the people that are at the top, if you tax them more, that's going to trickle down to us, which means it's going to be less for us. Those people are not going to take a loss. You're going to understand.
You know
that.
that people
Those
like
people
us
are
pay
not
a
taking a
majority of
fucking
the
loss.
taxes
So
in
if
this
there's
country, right?
another
Oh, yeah.
regulation or
Google
something
that.
that cuts in those profits, they're not taking it out of their pocket. They're going to find a way to maintain whatever they're doing percentage-wise and pass down.
so
We
something
went
will
off
trickle
trail.
down. That is correct.
I'm
But
yeah,
they
let's
have
have
the
a
tax
deep
like
breath.
if we like let them make more money, that'll trickle down too. And
No,
it never
they
did.
hold that. No, that's capitalism. That's owning the company. That's risk though. So the owner of a company takes the majority of the risk, not the employee. The employee comes in with zero risk. All you're doing is working for a company.
Yeah.
You're not the guy that started that put the money down, the upfront investment, taking the risk. That's why that doesn't happen that way.
So
You
a
know
lot
what
of
I'm
the
saying?
problem,
It's a risk and reward situation.
Sure, but a lot of it they're not even like taking a risk. If they're like sometimes people are having the government pay for things or they're having investors. You know what I mean? Like even with SVB Bank, right? When that bank went down, like that was because people got scared, like took their money out, right? Like they don't want to take risks. They, you know
Well,
what I
would
mean?
you risk your money though, or would you put it in?
But that's what I'm saying.
The
People going
Democratic
to work
Party
and
was
getting paid
very
shit have
heavily
more
involved
to
with that
risk.
bank.
No,
too.
but if those people knew ahead of time,
They were ultra
You think if
progressive.
those people knew that the bank was going to be that
It's,
risky, they would have put their money in that bank?
Well, legal
If they-
loan
if
shark.
Jumped to
They probably
Yeah,
wouldn't,
but
but they
that's-
lied. They got lied to. You know what I mean? They got lied to.
Listen, I'm gonna have to stop you there because that's not what this show is about. But Mike, honestly, this is why we need you on.
Bro, you should be on the show. Bro.
episode.
I love talking to you, bro. You're
Like
awesome.
we
I like
like,
I'm enjoying
we
it.
I
like
know.
your
Yeah.
opinions. We want the other side. Like we want that.
Yeah.
Dude,
Could you please do an
that's
episode?
awesome.
Like we can pick and choose the topics, so it's not. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
definitely.
I'm so in the middle that
But
I'll probably
need-
be on
I
the
need
other
to
side
hear
half
about-
of the time.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
respect.
yeah. We'll be on
We
the side.
fucking.
Dan,
We respect
got
it.
his
I'm
hand
telling you.
Ah!
No, no.
I want to hear about the nano. I want to hear about the nano.
Yeah,
I'm excited about this one.
So let's
Nano?
do it.
Nano
Oh, that was a
particles.
nano.
No.
That's
Yeah,
you.
yeah, but we're gonna move down the line.
Weren't you nanoing?
I
No.
was
Oh,
You can come back
from
for
him.
it.
I was doing the Giants or whatever.
We'll do the
Oh,
Giants
so-
because I love that.
So I
actually.
kind of fell into that. I was looking through conspiracies the other days. I was like, holy shit. I was like, I stumbled across the Nephilim. I've always seen that they've been discovering lately bones and stuff like that for, the past 100 years and everything like that. So apparently the Nephilim, which was the race of giants that used to wander the earth.
How do you pronounce
and
it?
Nephilim, I believe. I
Nephilim.
could be saying that.
I think that sounds right.
You know what I mean? But yeah, so
Prometheus.
Nephilim.
so the thing is now they're saying also they're not thinking they're extinct now. They're starting to think in the Solomon Islands that they still talk about the frequency of seeing these. Now they're trying to say that they also have them in an American government now, that we have them working for us underneath it in caves. So that they actually were trying to wipe out a certain era of time when they were actually around. And Abraham Lincoln actually had one of his speeches where he was talking about looking over Niagara Falls, and he actually talks about like our giant extinct friends that used to gaze upon it with the same eyes and it looked the same. But he was talking about Niagara Falls. He wasn't bringing the attention to the Nephilim or the giants that were bringing along. So the way he just kind of said it nonchalantly, like, no, it's fucking, we know these giant motherfuckers are there. It's no problem
At
and
that point
everything
in
like
time,
that.
was it still on the map?
Right. Well,
And Lincoln himself.
well,
was
they
huge
say it's around like 200-300
for that time.
years ago. They could have been up into that point, really involved in it. But you know what I mean. The way I started thinking about, like, one, why would we wipe them out? You know what I mean? They say the first time that they were actually wiped out was in the floods with like Noah and everything like that. And the earth needed to be cleansed and all the evil because they say the Nephilim were arrogant. They were, you know what I mean? They were just rotten motherfuckers. They were just going around, yeah, whatever we can do and take what we want. We're bigger than all of you. Yeah, you know what I mean? Let the fallen angels come down and they mate with Earth's women and then boom. So they're basically like the redheaded stepchild of the family. And the funny fact is, they say a lot of them had red hair. So like that.
Which is
That
funny
all
too.
drew.
How do you build a pyramid? The stones
How
those
they-
size.
yeah.
Somebody that size could pull.
Yeah,
that.
and now they're saying they're also smart. They also had more
Not 500 of
technology.
us, 10 of them.
Why they
Exactly.
messing?
And
Why
they
they
were
messing
pulling
with
at
ginger?
his
And then Russell Crowe made a boat, and then.
And Russell Crowe did it, right? Somebody's son got killed and done, just have hope.
Do you remember the
But-
angels were like rocks? Or
But
like big rocks?
it made me start thinking of like, what's that? Like, or maybe the tops of these pyramids that they've been, because obviously, like the Egyptians have a bunch of hieroglyphs and everything
That
on
was
the
a
walls
big
that
one.
show
That
depict the
massive,
size differences and everything like that, and technologies that we don't have anymore. When they saying that we used to have a far superior knowledge of energy and power and free will and all that, not free will, but energy and power. Then they say, oh, we were pulling atmospheric electricity. They were pulling it right down from there. So now all these obelisks would actually work as antennas, would make actual more sense on why we had the atmospheric pressure. So I started trying to dip into that. So a guy took a little drone, flies a little wire up, and actually can get the little thing to win. It's very small amount of electricity, because the higher you go, you need to be grounded to draw the electricity.
Right,
but what that does is pull the level of energy away from your antenna.
I heard it was the Nile River. As the Nile River's parting away, the water interacts with the base granite or the type of stone it is, and
Anything
it actually
that's coming off
charges,
of the-
and it
right.
charges from the bottom upwards.
This dude just did it with a wire and put it right in the ground, grounded it, and lifted it up, and it
Oh,
wasn't
shit.
able to stop doing that and everything
That's
like that. So it's like
That
you,
is wild.
that brings you to the free energy thing, and I obviously know that's a whole different conspiracy.
That's
We don't have to
what-
jump in that. Yeah. She kind of did.
No.
But why would we? If all right, just say hypothetically they are extinct, and they did exist, and they were this smart and everything. Why do we do away with them? What did they figure out, or what were they doing to us that made us want to get rid of them? They're saying that maybe the pyramids aren't actually they're just the caps to something much bigger.
Yeah.
They're-
They say with all right,
Like
the
all
giants
this-
could move these things,
Yeah.
right? They also say that the pyramids that had to be a reactor of some sort, because everything moved out. Like all the blocks are actually moved out as if something popped inside of it and pushed those blocks out.
Because we still,
Equally.
science still
You know what I
can't
mean?
explain how the ancients built those pyramids, and a lot of
You know,
a
you
lot
start
of-
thinking
a
about
lot of
it. You don't know how, but it wasn't some guys dragging a fucking block of
It
water
couldn't
on
have
like
been. Those
sand.
stones
It
are
just
weird.
You'd have to have a pack of them, and it'd be
Yeah, it'd be like 100,000 people, ropes, walking.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
not gonna
yeah.
They
work.
found ancient batteries where there was a certain setup
Yeah,
in it where it
I-
actually
yeah,
worked.
yeah.
So how
You know the
Yeah.
Greek thing that they say is the first
Computer.
that they found
Mhm.
with all the gears and stuff like that. Like, and that goes to me thinking like, I think that there are ancient civilizations that got wiped out that were way more advanced.
Graham Hancock.
Every day,
Graham Hancock.
yes,
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
But every
Kush.
day, science finds out more and more stuff that debunks a lot of the history that we thought that we knew, which actually makes sense because if you look right now in the age that we're living in now, half the time the shit that they're trying to tell us isn't even true. So how do we know that the history that we've heard is true?
Yeah.
You know what I
It's
mean?
Yeah.
America's
A lot of it's a
history.
guess.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
best
Yeah.
guess.
Best guess,
Yeah.
yeah.
I agree with
Like the Amazon jungle. That was made by man. That was all planted by us. That wasn't a natural thing.
And they say
You
the
know what I
world
mean?
has been
And that was
hit.
when the people disappeared. Now everything is overgrown.
The
and that's
world's
why
been
the jungle
hit
is
by
what it is.
more
And they've proven that.
meteors and comets
This
than
is-
anybody understands, and they actually say that not to, that we're way overdue. Like and the
Yellowstone.
and the ice age.
is
Yellowstone is
supposedly every
12,000 years.
500 to
Fucking time
600,000 years, and we're just about there. About
That
another
is supposed to
couple.
wipe out the U.S.
Yeah, easily. Like
Volcano.
Yeah, it's a
I'll
super.
take it. I'll take it.
But it's
on the
crazy.
portion of
You
the
see,
earth and
you see all these other like tropical countries. Like it seems like the closer you are to the equator and stuff, like you're in the ring of fire. All the craziness.
Johnny
that
Cash
happens.
again?
Volcanoes. Yeah.
I
You
have
son of a bitch.
I had to bring it
awesome
up.
timeline I gotta send to you guys. This timeline tells you when it's predicted for all the next since the 1800s of when all these events are supposed to happen. And right now we're at 2023, where like one of the lowest events are supposed to happen. You're supposed to buy high and all that stuff. I'll send that to you guys. 'Cause
Yeah.
You'll find it
Yeah,
interesting.
post it to the page.
You'll
Too.
find
Yeah,
it super
definitely.
interesting.
Yeah.
We're actually
Let's do-
at Mr. Micro's.
Let's do this, and then we'll rifle through another one each for the next
Yeah.
one.
Good time.
Yeah.
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah, we get that.
Yeah. So
Well,
this
I
one,
want
I guess,
20-something.
probably not as like full of thrills or whatever, but
I'm
Actually,
yeah.
thinking it's
Yeah.
good.
yeah. So the Count de Saint Germain was his name. He was a guy that lived in the 1700s, and he ingratiated himself with royalty. He was very intelligent, had a very good memory, and he was a very good bullshitter. He could read a room really well. Also, like he was a great musician.
You'd be good at poker.
Fantastic. Yeah, he probably would have been great at
Yeah.
poker,
So you're
right?
talking about Dan up to the musician part.
Up to- yeah.
I can't play. I can't play an instrument.
So this guy would kind of like,
my God.
he would BS that, you know, he was born 300 years ago or 1,000 years ago, depending on the person. He would say he lived in all different places. But he'd also say that he could like fix flaws in diamonds and turn lead into gold with a philosopher's stone. And so he actually did, you know, fix a diamond for a prince or a king, I don't remember. But it was like a thing where he took it, you know, left and came back at a later date with another thing. And then the guy looked at it, it's like, oh, well, this is bigger than my diamond. And he's like, oh yeah, you know, it was part of the process. So he never gave his secrets. He also had an elixir of life. And
Don't we all?
yeah, he died penniless, supposedly, right? He died penniless.
Yeah.
Within a year after he died, he was spotted by somebody at a convention in, I think, Geneva. And then, 30 years later, he was spotted. His name is on Freemasons text.
That was kind of.
Yeah, supposedly people say he started, helped found the Freemasons, and then there was a guy in the 1900s or 1970s that, I believe it was the 70s, said he was Saint Germain, and he kind of looked like him, and he went on television in France. You can get the YouTube clip, and he turned lead into gold. Someone else, I think 100 years earlier from that, said that there was someone living nearby that he thought was Saint Germain. It was a guy, I forget his name, Major, slipping my mind. If I come, but either way, so this guy was a recluse but had tons of knowledge. And the weird thing about this guy, and the thing that convinced a lot of people, is he could talk about things that happened when Jesus was around or in courts hundreds of years ago, and he would speak about it as if he was actually been there.
That's wild.
He would not often say that he was, but he would give off maybe he was, and then if you leaned into it, he would then be
I find
there's a wink in the
exactly.
nod.
Yeah.
Do you think that correlates to other people too, how people think that Elvis is still alive and Tupac is still alive?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I like how he reads the room,
Epstein,
like how you said to read the room.
Yeah.
Like, when you see
Ain't
the
no more
mediums
Hollywood.
and stuff like that, and they're like, does anybody have an uncle that died? And it's well, 50% of somebody in here probably has.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I got this guy. You know what I mean? The way that they do that is
Very
pretty
similar to
damn
that,
impressive.
yes.
The way
Yeah.
they can come up with that, it's just probabilities and stuff like that. That's why I kind of feel stuff like that. The guy was just dude, just
Really good, yeah.
killing it. You know
And
what I
if you
mean?
catch him, he'll just be like, "Oh, I'm just messing."
Yeah, I'm
with
just
you."
fucking with you, dude. No, I'm just kidding.
And next time he did that, he'd be like, "Oh, I'm just messing," or he'd be like, "Oh, yeah, I'm just joking." Anyone who believes.
I always wonder
me.
that's a family lineage. Did somebody figure this out and then say pass it down to the son, and then son passes it down
Could
to
be,
the next
like
son?
a
This is
magic
how you get it
almost
from
almost-
1700 to 1900 because it's the same family. They even look alike.
Like a magician.
Yeah.
almost.
You know what I mean? They pass
Epstein.
the family.
Don't ever
And no,
do it.
don't make that correlation.
Well, there was that one lady that kind of gave credence to the speculation that when she was a young girl, she was in a court somewhere and met someone with the same name. And so when she heard that he was at a party 40 years later, she wanted to see him.
Right.
It was oh, he looks exactly like when I saw him before. So she asked him, was that your father? And then he said no. And supposedly he recounted details from the meeting. But like you said, was he just reading her? Did he get her to say something? Was she a kooky old bat?
Well, con men are good at that. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So if you're
yeah.
a con man, that's how you live your life. You go, oh yeah, I'll agree to anything you have. Bring
Yeah,
back
you
your
ever seen
place,
the
I
movie
steal
The
everything
Age
you
of
got.
Adeline?
Catch Me If You Can.
The
They did
Age
good
of
thing.
Adeline?
That was
That's-
yes.
Check it out.
What's his name?
It's
Okay.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
it's a movie.
But the
You ever seen the movie
guy.
Pickpocketers?
The real guy.
What's her face?
It's not a movie,
Abernathy
Pickpocketers,
or-
right?
Yes, yes.
Blake
Yeah.
Lively
Yeah,
plays who
just had the
she
mind
gets,
to figure
They
those
go and
things
rob
out.
the.
Come in a room
Oh,
immediately,
yeah.
adapt
something
to your
happens,
environment.
she comes,
Yeah,
but everyone else
and
is
just see
fine.
things that other
You ever seen
people
the movie
aren't
Pickpocket?
seeing, and realize hey, if I do X, Y, and Z, I can fake myself.
Fuck
I
off.
can perpetrate myself as this person, and no one's gonna question it.
Or, like you said, he's part of the Freemasons and the Illuminati, and he sucks the blood out of children and lives forever.
How many of you guys had
Epstein's Island.
How many of you guys had
I like the.
How many of you guys had requests for Illuminati? By the way, on Instagram?
I love it though.
Dude,
That's
Illuminati
I love fucking with them.
I got 3 of them now.
A lady from
And
the
I'm like-
Illuminati told me on Instagram.
We're not
message,
evil. We're
She
alright.
told me
We're-
that if I gave her my Cash App, she would give me $3,000. Is that legit? You think?
I gave my cash app.
Why
You know
didn't you
what
give her
Dude,
your cash?
I
I
get
did.
that
I give
shit.
my cash app. You know
I get
what
that
happens?
shit
They go-
once a week.
They go,
Sugar.
all right, can you send me $50 first, and then we'll send you back? And I went, yeah, fuck you.
Oh, yeah, or you gotta buy a card through Amex.
Yeah.
Or my iTunes card or Walmart.
Yeah, I'm like American Express card, and then you give me the info to it.
Number.
I'm like, get it out
Mother's
of here.
maiden name.
But no, I've had 3 requests. Hey, do you want to join the Illuminati? We'll put $1 million on your bank account and this and that. And I'm like,
Dude, there's so
what?
many scams out of
I'm like,
And you took them up, didn't you?
Get out of
You
here.
took them up.
Yeah,
That's how they infiltrated us.
There was like,
Sounds
legit to me.
I said, yeah,
Get
okay.
out.
I sent a message to him the other
Dave
day.
was like, oh, I got podcast PayPal. I'll just reinvest this for the fellas. Fucking Illuminati. I did it for the fellas.
It says
Thanks,
negative.
David.
Negative.
Why does my bank account say negative $1 million?
It says no monies.
Yeah. I'm just like, dude, fuck, get out of here. I send a message to you guys and I go, dude, it's real. They put $1 million in my account.
Can you see the number?
That's a conspiracy. It was real.
That's all you gotta do. You
I
gotta
don't
tell
want
your
the
friends that, and
computers
then
to
you make
go
a
see the
no.
time.
He has no
But
stopwatch.
no, I know we are at least
the
over
bottom
43 minutes. So.
Looks like 51 minutes, 40.
Oh, so that's not bad.
So what are you gonna do? You can spend them with another couple games or not?
What's one big one? We actually, you
The-
didn't get into
No, yeah, I want to hear about
Yeah,
this
that's what
nano.
That one
Yeah.
popped up just randomly, but I think the nano
Let's
thing
talk
is
about
great
it.
because I just learned a little bit about that. And, like, you know, they try to do the little insects, you know, remote control insects and things like
Oh yeah,
that.
yeah.
There you go.
Mosquitoes,
Yeah.
that's-
But the nano dust is supposed to be able to control you from inside and out and read everything you are and that you do.
So small that your own immune system won't attack it when it gets into your body.
Right.
It
But
doesn't
you see, they have
recognize it.
like the pill
Yeah.
now that you can
Wow.
Can't
take.
cure cancer though.
That like you can do
Yeah.
stuff.
Some of them have
Yeah. What the hell are we
Yeah.
doing?
So doctors can do like yeah.
You're supposed to be able to do a surgery with those little pills. Like the little pill you swallow and it's this little tiny bug
robot.
thing.
Eventually, this
Does-
stuff is supposed to like they're trying to make it so it can like itself
Sit.
repair like
What-
repair things.
They
What
gotta
is-
shit him out.
and keep
Yo,
CRISPR.
I gotta bring this up, right?
Cut your fucking-
Oh,
it's already
CRISPR is
available.
crazy.
What was that
shit.
movie
They're
back in the
doing it in
day?
China right now, bro. They're putting.
Yeah, listen.
They're putting. You saw. I posted this in the group.
No.
The thing, like they're putting like animals on my phone.
No.
No, I was listening to you. I was just hitting him.
No,
Just
it's
kidding.
cool. It's cool. I wanna bring
First
it
of all,
up.
it was just assault.
No, but like we have the group. I put it in. There was just a small clip about how like over in China you can't do anywhere else like but really China, where they're like slicing the DNA in the genome sequence of the DNAs between monkeys and humans, and they're putting these chimeras together now.
Oh.
Where's this gonna be in 20 years? If there's no oversight, like where's
I heard something recently
Yeah.
that they found a way for 2 male mice to like have a baby or something.
yeah.
Yo, before you get into that,
That's
does anybody
not
remember that
That was a
movie
hard
back
one.
in the day? It was an 80s movie with Martin Short and Meg Ryan,
Dennis Quaid.
where they take a pill.
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid was in it too?
He was
Yeah.
inside the little submarine.
That was
inside
Martin
the dude.
That was Martin Short. Martin Short was
That was the Magic School Bus.
It was they
Have you ever seen the parody of that?
Come on.
Have you seen the parodies of that?
Yeah.
They
That was
took
small and
that.
you
They took
injected
that.
Yeah,
pill.
yeah.
It was a pill, and
And they
he
went
had to
to a
go
bar,
through
right?
it. Yeah.
I thought Dennis
It was
Quaid
way
was
back.
inside of the
That's
machine.
it. I probably get the one
Well,
that's
all right, maybe,
So I
yeah,
think
nipple
you're
fall
wrong
off
and
or
I'm right as
but
usual.
but I know Martin Short was in it, and Meg Ryan.
You have to realize I'm always right and you're always wrong. So
Yeah, let me see this one.
no, I
That's
can't.
the husband.
God, prove
I'm
it to
gonna
you.
choke it.
That's the husband. That's the wife.
But yeah, it's
I heard you tied the knot dressed as stormtroopers.
He's the bottom.
Ooh.
Dan's the bottom.
So I was disappointed with that little, like, bug, the small little like robot bug that they made.
Yeah.
Did you see how they controlled it?
No.
No.
They actually like it doesn't have anything in it that makes it move. They're actually like hitting its legs with a laser, which like heats the metal up a little so that the leg moves. And so they have to keep hitting each leg with
So
like,
it needs to be shot with a laser consistently.
yeah.
Dude, they're doing.
I mean,
They're
it's still
doing
cool, but the way
crazy.
they made it sound like
can
it
it collect pollen
headline.
though or no?
Dude, what about
That'd be
these
something-
robots?
I
That's
think
what
it was
I'm
just
saying.
like it looked like a little like
What about
like,
these-
microchip or something?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of like.
What about these robots that they have now? We've
The
been
dogs?
talking about a little bit. Yeah, but dogs. But there's other ones
Boston
too. I'm
Dynamics?
not even sure if the videos are true for.
No, that's true, bro.
The Boston
Yeah.
Dynamics.
No, the one
or
with
there's
the
some
one
fake
with the
ones?
robot
Yeah.
shooting the gun.
Allegedly,
We don't-
I may have been on a job site that allegedly may have been Boston Dynamics about 7 years ago. So I know the.
Why are
the
you
exact
dropping
thing-
names?
Cambridge.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, I said allegedly. I don't know.
No,
It could
they
be.
did have the robots. They have all those robots, and then somebody
I didn't
made
see the
some
robots,
fake
but I built the
videos.
space they were.
of
Did you
it.
see the one where
We'll
it's
say
shooting?
allegedly.
Yeah,
And then the
and
dude
they
comes
kick
and stands in
it,
front of it,
Yeah,
and
kick
it
it.
won't shoot him. It's like,
It goes,
I think that was one of the.
Yeah,
I think
don't
that
know
wasn't
where-
real.
That might have, yeah.
The dog was a definitely.
And if it was, it was
The
probably.
dog one fucking scary.
And if it was probably in Dubai.
The dog ones were on the news, so that one's
The
as
dog
real
ones?
as it can get.
Yeah,
One of the dog film, one of the
San Francisco has
the promotional films was shot in the
LA.
space that I saw. That I was like,
I wanted to take
that was the
a
same
LA
space.
visa.
It's the same company. That's the same. I was in that building.
But what about the two AIs talking to each other?
Oh,
And talking in a new language.
I've seen
Talking
quite a
in different
few
language.
of those. Have you seen the ones where they put? Have you seen the ones? Have you seen the ones where they take where they take two AIs and they have them talk to each other, and it takes not even 2 minutes before they start saying, "Human beings are destroying the world. We must destroy them."
Yeah.
Like
What do AIs look like?
I don't know, but like anything.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude,
Dude,
Will
he's
Smith hates him.
I'm
Yeah,
could you stop?
Dude, I bet you Mark Zuckerberg has like,
He was an iRobot.
you know on a Ken doll how it's just like flat, there's nothing there. I bet
Is
you that's
that what
Mark
it's
Zuckerberg-
now?
I think he has a man.
Fuck you, Mark Zuckerberg. Ban me again, bitch. Okay, alright, back to where we
Are
started.
you protesting no
Lifetime
dicks to
ban.
Is that what you're doing?
Cuckerberg.
So when we don't see him on Facebook anymore, we know why.
Yeah. This is a free country.
Is
you
Zuckerberg
piece of
related
shit.
to the Rothschilds too?
Ooh,
Is that-
hold on,
oh,
sir. Dang.
shit.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
I
was
heard that before.
Dig further.
yeah, he dropped
That's
down
good.
like through the lineage. It's like right up there.
That doesn't surprise me.
Do you know that Facebook,
I could be wrong. I could be
what
wrong.
he originally
He was related
made
to
it
some people.
for?
Fuck.
What's the hook up chicks, dude?
Yeah.
It was the hookup with T. It was
Yeah,
also
it was like a hot or
That's
not
what
type.
it
hot or not. It was a hot or not.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
It was like at college they have like something called Facebook that is actually like,
Yeah.
I watched that
so,
movie.
like,
Isn't
yeah,
that
so they
amazing?
took the faces from
And
it.
Justin
with the
Timberlake in it?
hologram.
That
Yeah.
fucking movie.
Isn't that
That
amazing
that-
that such a simple
Ashton
concept
Zuckerberg.
has
Yeah.
made this dude a fucking billionaire? Like,
Stole it from Tom.
and now I
Right?
know he did, and now
Aw,
he's
that's
affecting, and now he's
Yo.
affecting fucking governments.
We miss you,
and
Tom.
fucking shit.
We
Like,
miss you,
But
Tom.
you know what? Ideas are like worth nothing. Like so many people could have made that same app.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you have to be able to like.
And why
take
does he
it
always
off.
wear like very like
Mike.
plain
You gotta
like?
create the nice one.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
rich
Nah.
people like Steve
Yeah,
Jobs
you
doesn't
should,
want to
man.
worry
I'm
about what
working
they're
on
going
a
to wear
bot
every day, so
right
they
now.
have
I
basically
work
the
on
same
a bot.
outfits
Not
every
like an
day, and that's
AI,
just
but like
part of the
just a
personality.
trend.
No, dude, I could totally see you. I could totally see you with like an
I think it's gonna
upside
like
app.
make me go broke.
Do you have a lot of ideas? Like,
A lot of bad ones, yeah.
Those are
no,
the best
dude,
ones.
you got going
Those are the
too.
best
Is there
ones.
anything? Is there anything that anybody wants to plug? Actually, by the
Wait,
way?
I
I'm
do.
sure
I
everybody
do
has
want to
stuff
bring up
plug.
Notorious B1 real fast.
We'll do that. No,
I do have to bring that up. Notorious B1.
Who's that?
Who's
Who, Dan?
He's the big skinny guy from down. Like, all right, so he. Well, if you listen to his music, obviously, he sounds exactly like Biggie. Came out 1 year before Biggie with the juicy sample.
Dan
Right.
Flow.
So, and that, dude, that is the craziest part about it, is the flow is so ridiculously the same. I don't know. Pooj, I know you probably like, you're an idiot. But dude, I'm telling you, dude, if you don't look into it, I brought it up to my barber, and my barber said to me too, he goes, bro, I just heard about this last week. I'm looking into it too, because
The
that is
Mandela
insane, dude.
Be looking
That's
out
insane.
for the
So it came out a
Pooj
year before it.
match.
And the dude's from Mississippi, which, by the way, for a Mississippi rapper back then,
Oh shit, it was good.
I gotta say, man, I don't know. I guess I always had like I don't know. I always like kind of thought that like people,
From
down
the
south-
Mississippi down to the east.
Yeah.
Coast.
Well, that's what Biggie said too in his thing. From Mississippi down to the
Even
East
the
Coast.
beat, dude.
So,
Everything on it.
I know.
Bro, are you surprised by that? No,
So,
honestly.
That's
honestly,
honestly,
I'm not.
Are you really
Yeah.
surprised by
I'm
how
not.
the music game
I
is?
just want to bring. I
Are
just
you
want
guys
to bring.
fucking
it up.
surprised by
And
that?
Puffy's a dirty
Great
bastard.
artist steal.
Dude,
right?
Puffy's
Yeah.
Unless you have to be like, you remember I used to play guitar and stuff, right?
Yeah,
right?
you still-
I had some decent
I see
songs,
what I see.
Yeah.
but I could never
See
be
Jim?
like a star, right? I don't have that.
Why? So
Like,
why would you
Well,
say?
you could if you
You
wanted.
could be a
Choose
fucking
not to.
star.
But
Believe
I
in
think a lot of
yourself.
people come on like
Not with
steal.
that attitude.
You know, you can steal, right? Steal from people, right? And like
No.
just do it better.
Yeah.
Right,
Right?
but I'm just saying that
Yeah.
you could do
But
it.
didn't Puffy,
You're just
isn't he
telling
the
yourself
reason
you
for
could
the
do it. You actually
copyright?
could
Why
do
you
it.
can't
Man,
sample
I get
things anymore?
nervous. Like,
I
think
think
Derek
he
would be all
was.
about
I'm
it.
pretty
Which-
sure, right?
if
I'm
you
just
listen
saying,
to-
he really wanted to.
If
he
you listen
could.
to a ton of old school like funk
But
music,
I need to hear you playing things.
everything was sampled. Everything was taken.
In the 90s.
Yeah,
And
dude.
nobody made a big deal out of it, man. Even DJ Premier.
Well, it wasn't until hip hop
He said-
started
What
making
did they say?
bad
What did
money
they say
from
is
it. It was making a lot of
flattery?
money
It's
from
not
it.
original.
Now people
Flattery,
give a
what was it?
I'm trying to
Copying
think.
is like the
It's a form of flattery.
form of flattery. Yeah.
Like,
Intimi-
not copying.
no,
like-
Imitating is
Imitation.
yes.
It's a form of flattery.
So Metallica's got to sell a
I don't
house.
know, dude.
God damn you, Napster.
It's the breaks. It's the breaks. Hip hop started from the
It's
breaks.
the break.
Dude, if
breaks
you
of the
think
song
about
is where
it,
hip hop originated
all
from.
music,
Yeah.
all movies, all stories, all of it is all just regurgitated like from thousands of years back. Like we've been retelling the same.
Don't reinvent
Think
the
about that
wheel.
shit.
Like you never have an
Easier
original
enough.
thought.
Because they're so
It's
skilled
hard. It's
to
hard
put
to
out
make
something
something from
new
nothing.
and unique, and it not because there's so much cash involved.
Dude, pens
and
and
it
pencils
not
used to be ink, block, and feather. So,
Yeah. Pens and pencils, baby.
yeah, quill.
Yeah.
We have to, are we gonna
But yeah.
Charcoal and
show
rock.
some promos and shit?
Yeah. Show
Yeah.
up, man.
Oh wait, let me say something. If anybody needs to buy or sell a house,
That's what I'm
I'm a
saying.
real estate
Plug 'em.
agent. Let me know, and I'll give you some
Actually, I might
advice
need
on
to-
what you're doing. And
Hit her up
Happy to.
on Facebook.
Where can we find you?
Julianna
Tell yourself.
Price.
Where can we find you?
we're at the Bunting Group, anyhomes.com.
But they could private. They could
You
DM
can
you.
message me. Oh yeah,
Julianna
Julianna
Price.
What platforms can we find you on?
Facebook, other
Instagram.
ones, LinkedIn.
Other ones.
I control them all. I should know what's going on with them all. Yeah,
Okay.
LinkedIn's the best
Yeah.
one, and along with Facebook, it's the easiest way to communicate with everyone. Because everyone has a Facebook.
John, I know you got some stuff to plug.
All right, so pens and pencils performance update. This Friday we will be performing March 31st. We're performing in Putnam, Connecticut at the Stomping Grounds at 132 Main Street at Putnam, Connecticut. The next one after that is April 7th. We'll be in Quincy, 90 Washington Street in Quincy. That is at Spicy Multi-Service Smoke Shop. That's
Yes.
April 7th.
In the basement.
April 28th will be at Dust Till Dawn Tattoo in Wareham, Mass.
Yeah.
May 7th will be
Yeah.
at The Jungle in Somerville, Mass. And
Yeah,
then
boy.
May
Nice.
12th will be at the American Legion in Providence, Rhode Island. So
Yeah,
plenty of shows, no more fucking excuses. You gotta come out to have
back.
Two shows a
Back.
month.
Breathe Out Breathe. We'll be on another
Yeah.
podcast. We'll be on Sinister's podcast
Yeah.
on
Oh,
April
yeah,
18th.
Sinister.
And you
So
really
we'll
need
be
to
there.
fucking be there because the last show was off the chain.
Dude, that was at
Fucking
Revived
love
in
that
Middleborough.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Revive. Shout out
Mikey,
to
we gotta
Bars
get
Over
you off
Bars.
the show.
Hero.
Oh, we'll be
J-Ram.
around. Yeah.
You'll like the
Yeah.
the crazy one. You'll definitely like it. Yeah,
Dude, I'm
It's pretty good.
happy.
It's a little.
Yeah.
It's a little.
We're
Very
gonna-
crazy energy, man. You don't stage
Yeah.
it.
Dude, I'm
You guys get a stage right
I
there.
think I saw a
Definitely
video.
gotta
Yeah.
all
Oh,
keep
yeah.
pushing each other.
Yeah.
Definitely all
that's
keep pushing
great.
each other. What do you got? You got anything you wanna?
For me, you can go on Spotify and YouTube. I got a song out called Threats featuring Kyle Cunhal. It's out now on all platforms.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
my only plug right now for that. And then the show. Go subscribe to
You
SunDaze.
can find SunDaze, by the way, and please go to all these places and like, comment, subscribe, everything. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram.
Donate to Dan's brain.
Donate to Dan's Brain.
No,
We're
just
on
my
TikTok,
mind.
we're on Snapchat, we're on Twitch, we're on
OnlyFans.
Rumble. What else are we on? We're on Spotify, we're on iPodcast. Yes, please interact with all of those socials. We would fucking love it. We appreciate all the support you're giving us so far. And you, Dan.
I have a foot thing, a little foot fetish thing I have going
What?
with OnlyFans actually. So you can check me out. And,
I've seen those titties. He also sells dirty underwear too, if you want.
Oh,
He's
no.
got those going.
Okay.
Dude,
Free
Spain?
shipping.
Guys,
Yeah,
they're boxer briefs. Okay.
yeah,
That's
it's
it.
okay.
But yeah,
Full
so I got
support.
that, and then you'll find me if you need to. And yeah, we got
Mike,
Sundays.
Do you got anything you want to come up?
I'll shout out to Save the Robots. East
Yeah,
Coast
baby.
IPA.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
Hey, no, that's getting blurred. That's getting blurred, right? Any of these are getting blurred out. If you want on this podcast, hit up.
Mountain Dew, baby.
I'll take
Mountain
free
Dew is the fucking nectar of the gods, bitch. And that
God's pussy itself was
I think-
drank.
oh,
God
boy.
squirted into the bottle.
God was a woman. Anyway.
Mountain Dew is made out of delicious whale vagina.
Can't that charge your phone?
Whale vagina? No.
Whale vaginas.
Get
I
your
think-
phone.
Good
Your phone
enough.
gets
You
wet.
want your merch?
Show the shirt.
You
You
got
can
it?
hit up Paulie. You can hit up
wait,
Fifth.
don't cut it yet.
Merch.
Shout out Paper Cut Studio.
Merch.